everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Taylor Swift video. Today we will be talking about Speak Now. This one, I don't have a lot to say about it in terms of when she wrote it, but I do have quite a bit to say about the album. Um, but starting off, so she wrote this one around when she wrote Speak Now around when she was, I think 18 to 20 years old is like the time frame of when she wrote this album. I can't tell you what year it came out. I could probably deduce it, but I don't want to do that math right now. Speak Now was a monumental like shift in her career. Um, I would actually say less more so of a shift and more so of just a revival's not the right word, but it was big. Speak Now was big in her career. Speak Now was her first self-written album, and that's the biggest thing about Speak Now that um, is monumental to Speak Now. Since it's all self-written, she she kind of showed first with Speak Now that she is not only a single but also a songwriter. Um, and then years and years later we would get Folklore and Evermore. um, but she also showed us with Speak Now TV that she could be a little a I can't say that word, but I'm gonna say it. So my thing about this album is I think it's one of my favorite photo shoots and artworks for this album. Because just the purples and the black, the purple, and everything about it is the artwork to me is just the best. It's the best. This one has the best artwork to me. Um, I like, I really like Wed's artwork. I really like 1989, and I like Folklore and Evermore. But they're not. They don't stand. Their artwork doesn't stand out to me as much as Speak Now's does. So let's get into the album, since I don't know a lot about what's happening, but let's get into the album itself. Um, actually, before I say that, actually, before we get into the album, so the big people that she was dating during this album is Taylor Lautner and John Mayall. Um, John Mayall is not a good person, but Taylor Lautner is. And fun fact is that Taylor Lautner dated Taylor during this time, even if it was for just a little while. Um, and Taylor Lautner was also the person Taylor went to, or one of the people Taylor went to after 2000, the 2007 award. Okay, I was gonna say Academy Awards. I know it's not Academy Awards, but the 2007 awards when Kanye West interrupted Taylor's acceptance speech for album of the year for Fearless, I think. Um, but Taylor Lautner was one of the people she like went to, and she talks about it in her song "Back to December." But John Mayall, on the other hand, was not a good person. He essentially at the time, she was about 19 and he was in his 30s, I think, or his late 20s. I don't know. But essentially, he took advantage of her. Um, and that's where we get the song Dear John. But so a lot was happening during this time because since she had already written Fearless, Speak Now kind of encompasses her relationship with John Mayall, encompasses her relationship with Taylor Lautner, and then it also encompasses um, a little bit about how she felt about the whole Kanye thing, and that she had even at this point already forgiven him for what he had done. That's where we get the song Innocent. But that is what I know about the album specifically, about the time frame. But now let's get into the beautifully illustrated album of Speak Now. The artwork is amazing. Like, I mean, just all the purples and the pinks and the whites. Like, that one's hard to see, but it's just so pretty. So Speak Now originally was not a favorite album of mine. I would still say it's not like a favorite album of mine. Speak Now for me is like out of all of her albums, it's which by the time this comes out, Tortured Poets Department will have come out, and I will have like put it into my selection. But I won't talk about that until I make the video, or until I release a video for Tortured Poets Department. But out of the 10 albums now that are out, and that I know, Speak Now is kind of in the middle. I don't know exactly where it is. I can't remember, but it's, for me, it's above Folklore, Evermore, Debut, Fearless. It's, I think Midnight's is higher on it for me than Speak Now, I think. It's either Midnight's and Speak Now or Speak Now Midnight's. One of the two. I can't quite remember. I'd really have to, really thinking about it. Really thinking about it. I probably put Speak Now above Midnight's, just solely for the fact that, just solely for the songs Better Than Revenge, I Can See You, The Story of Us, and Back to Assemble. um, so it's in the mid range. It's not one of my favorites, but it's also not like low on the list. But like I said, it's one of my favorite artworks and one of my favorite photo shoots. So with like if I was ranking the albums on looks, it's definitely probably the best one. We'll see how Debut and Reputation TV's artworks look. I feel like Debut is either going to be super mid or it's going to be really beautiful, especially if she incorporates a lot of green into it, a lot of greens and blues like she did the first one. And Reputations is probably just going to be badass. So, but we'll see about those. But the thing with Speak Now is there are a lot of songs on it that I really enjoy. Like I said, Back to December, Story of Us, I Can See You, Castles Crumbling, Better Than Revenge, and stuff, songs like that. Better Than Revenge is kind of like the OG Reputation song before she even knew she was gonna write Reputation. Because at this point, she was probably at the point that Speak Now had come. She was already writing songs for Red. I haven't talked about it much, but she knows in advance up to 2 years what her life is gonna be pretty much, and what she's doing. So like right now, at this point in time when I'm recording this video, Tortured Poets Department is supposed to come out in like 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks, in like a week and a half. And I'm sure she already has a release date for Reputation TV and maybe even Debut TV. And she's probably already working on songs for her next album. But I got some really interesting insights into her whole post-Reputation albums and eras, and I'll talk more about that in my Tortured Poets Department video. But the thing about Speak Now is like her last. It's technically her last country album, but I would honestly say that Speak Now is more country pop. Um, Speak Now is not done justice in the Eras Toll because it's only given, well, it was only given one song, Enchanted, um, until Speak Now TV came out, and then she added Long Live to the set list. And even then, I don't think she sings Long Live every single night. She might now. I don't know. I really like the TV a lot better than. So I didn't really appreciate this album when I listened to the original version. So it wasn't really on my way at all. But once Speak Now TV came out, I started liking all the songs that I didn't think I liked before. This was the first TV that she released that I liked. All of the vault tracks. So I was like, oh, okay. um, Speaking of the vault tracks, let's talk about Electric Touch. Electric Touch featuring Fall Out Boy is one of the coolest songs. I'm not gonna say it's one of the best songs she's ever written, but it's one of the coolest songs she's ever written because, for one, Taylor Swift and Fall Out Boy collaborating. That's amazing. I love both of them, and they've shown with Electric Touch that they can collaborate. And Electric Touch kind of puts on a rock genre. I wouldn't even say it's rock pop. I would just say it's rock. Even if it is soft rock, it's still rock. And that's interesting because we've all said it for a while, but I've heard things about, people being like, if Taylor releases a rock album, that would be so cool. And she would have gone through like all the genres. Which I think if she were to release a rock album, it would either be rock pop or it would be soft rock. Because I just don't think that she has the capability to do like a full on rock or even like heavy rock, almost metal album, which she wouldn't do that because that's just not her style. If she did release a rock album, it would be soft rock. Count how many times I say rock. um, but Electric Touch, that song has showed us that she can sing rock, and I would be really interested in seeing a rock album from her. But like when Emma Falls in Love is such a good song. It's kind of a feel good song, honestly. I Can See You is such a country song, and I love it. Um, and like she said she wrote all these songs when she was like 19. So for uh Taylor Swift, for a 19-year-old to write a song like I Can See You, it's just such behavior and I love it. Castles Crumbling is a very interesting song because she seemed to have she seemed to have already thought that her career was ending. And I think Castles Crumbling was in response to how she felt after I think it was the VMAs. After the VMAs when Kanye West interrupted her, because if you go watch her Miss Americana, I think it's Miss Americana. It might not even be on the documentary. I can't remember. But I saw it somewhere that she said that when Kanye West interrupted her and said stuff, and the crowd started booing Kanye, in the moment, Taylor thought that the crowd was booing her and not Kanye. Obviously she knows now better that they were booing Kanye. Um, 'Cause we don't tolerate Kanye. Anyway, but Castles Crumbling is an interesting reflection on how even after she had just even after she had just won an award for her album Fearless, uh, and she was up and coming still, that she had already thought that her career was over. And I thought that was interesting. But then we get Foolish One and Timeless. Timeless is kind of a cute Timeless is probably my least favorite of the Speak Now Vault tracks, and I say that with, very, very subtle least favorite because I still listen to it and I still love it. Um, but Foolish One and Timeless to me are like just the carefree, they just feel good songs. That's what a lot of the From the Vault songs to me all feel good. Like when Emma Falls in Love, Foolish One, and Timeless to me all just kind of feel good songs. And then you have Electric Touch, I Can See You, and Castles Crumbling where they're more like dramatic. Um, which is an interesting shift from the standard track list of Speak Now, because Speak Now, the standard track list has all these different emotions because you go from Mine and Sparks Fly, which are kind of upbeat, I'm in love songs, to Back to December, which is a reflection on. Back to December is a reflection, is kind of a sad reflection back onto her relationship with Taylor Lautner and kind of how she wishes she could go back to that December and not end things with him. But the interesting about that is that Taylor Lautner dated Taylor Swift and then they broke up. But then Taylor Lautner goes on later to marry someone also named Taylor. So three-way Taylor triangle is weird. But then you have Speak Now, which I will say, as much as I like Speak Now is a fun poppy song, but it is such a pick me girl song that I also hate it. Like I hate the meaning of it, but I love the song. If that makes sense. I like the beat and the lyrics, but I hate the meaning of it because it's such a pick me girl song. Which I mean, she's 19 years old, so I kind of understand it. And then you have Dear John, where she's Dear John just wags on Dear John on John Mayle. Uh, and then it goes back to like the Story of Us, which is kind of an upbeat song, but at the same time, the Story of Us is kind of like a "Are we done? Are we breaking up?" It goes back to Sad with Never Grow Up, which I wouldn't necessarily call a sad song, but do what you will with that. Enchanted, which is like happy. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. Then Better Than Revenge, and then Innocent, and then Haunted, then Last Kiss, then Long Live, then Alice, then Superman. It goes all over the place. Every single song in succession is like different feel, which is kind of like Red, but Red seems to have more like pockets of feelings. Um, but I will say another thing that I enjoyed about uh, the song specifically Better Than Revenge is that the original she changed the original lyrics to one line in the song because the song was he's not a saint and she's not a saint and she's not what she thinks. She's an actress. She's better known for the things that she does on the mattress, basically calling her slut. But then she changed that lyric to he was a moth to the flame she was holding the matches, basically saying that um, Joe Jonas, which I did forget to mention, Joe was also an integral relationship that went into writing for Speak Now. And Joe Jonas was kind of, well, essentially Joe Jonas cheated on Taylor, or like not even if he didn't cheat, he left her for another woman. Um, but the Better Than Revenge was originally written at the time, basically slut shaming the girl for taking Joe away from her. But I like that she changed the lyric and that she said in an interview that she's she's in her thirties now. She knows better now that the girl didn't steal Joe away from her. Joe just wasn't in love enough with Taylor to not be stolen away, to not leave her for another woman. So I like that she changed the lyric. I do enjoy the original lyric still, but I haven't listened to the original lyric in so long that it's almost hard for me to say it now. So it's kind of like the lyrics just already changed in my head, so it's fine. But so I will say for this album, I have already said that this album is kind of out of 10, which now it'll be 11, but um, since at the time I'm recording this, I haven't listened to Tortured Post Department yet. I can't tell you what it is out of 11. So out of 10, I would put this at either. I would put this at 6. Hold on. 5. I'd put this in the I'd put this straight in the middle. Or I'd put it at 6. Again, I really have to think about where I put it, if I put it above or below Midnight's. If any of you want to comment where you put this at in your ranking, or where you put it in relation to Midnight's, put that down below. I'd be interested to see in what everyone thinks of Speak Now. But I would give it a 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of all of her albums. In terms of the album as a standalone album, I would probably, since they're all, well, there's a few songs I don't like on it. Like, I won't listen to Last Kiss or Innocent or Never Grow Up unless I'm listening to the vinyl and then it's just playing through. But, so I would rank it subjectively as a standalone album. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. And then objectively, like in the songwriting and the storytelling and all that, I would probably give it a. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 as well. Because it does paint a picture of what was going on in her life. But like I said earlier, it kind of does what Red does and kind of jumps through emotional hoops, um, which I think it's safe to say that uh, until 1989, it really no, all of her albums jump through emotional hoops, which I know Midnight's technically everything after 1989 also, even 1989 jumps through emotional hoops, but they'll are times when there are albums where she's more consistent or subtle with those emotional hoops than she is with other albums. Like with Red, it's all over the place. With Speak Now, it's also all over the place. With 1989, you do get those shifts, but it's like a subtle shift because you have like the first half of 1989 where it's all happy and poppy and blah in your face, and then you get to the more subdued second half where it's still about the same feelings, but it invokes them in a different way. It doesn't invoke them in a I want to dance to this song. It invokes them in a more of a thinking way, I guess. Um, that's pretty much all I have to say about Speak Now. Um, I love the artwork. I love it. I love it. Oh, and can we also talk about how she did this, and then Kim Kardashian, not the next freaking day, imitated the photo for Instagram? Like, come on. Kim. Stop being a bee. This has been my video for Speak Now, and I will see all of you for the next video, which will probably be it'll either be Fearless or Torture Post Department, because Torture Post Department comes out in a week and a half, and I am so excited for it. When I'm recording this video will probably come out long after Torture Post Department has actually released. But I am so excited for Torture Post Department. If you want to talk about Torture Post Department in the comments, you can do that as well. If you want to just give me any unpopular Taylor Swift opinions in the comments, I'm all here for that. And if you guys do comment, maybe I'll make a unpopular opinion Taylor Swift video, unpopular opinions Taylor Swift video. But this has been the video, and I will see all of you in the next one.